you to Daniels?
So I was already in Denver, love the outdoors, love skiing. It's like a personal ad now. Long walks on the beach, but there's no beach here. And so I got obsessed with Warren Buffett basically and decided that I wanted to pursue something involving finance. So decided to get my MBA. Undergrad was philosophy, which prepared me somewhat for this. And then I had a nice long hiatus for probably 8 years in between undergrad and grad school. I started a consulting business, doing IT consulting primarily, and then I started like 4 other businesses in that time frame that didn't do quite as well as the consulting, but it was a lot of good experience. Yeah, it was interesting stuff. I learned a lot through failure. That's a good thing, I think.
So you're a serial entrepreneur?
In a way, yeah. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, I love entrepreneurship, and the risk involved is always interesting for me to try to wrap my head around, because I'm always trying to mitigate that risk, but it's kind of hard to when you don't know what the next step really is. Mm-hmm. So next Warren Buffett. That's what I want to do. I want to be the next Warren Buffett. I think I'm going to have to come up with some other edge, something that I haven't figured out yet, but that's pretty much my goal. I got to meet Warren Buffett.
Yeah. How was that? Tell me about that.
That was amazing. Probably one of the most amazing experiences of my life. The most interesting takeaway was that he is actually like all the stuff that I've read about him, which just a really giving person, and the fact that he didn't have to be doing any of the stuff that he was doing. He didn't have to talk with us for a couple hours, go to lunch with us, he took photos with everyone for 2 hours. And for a guy who's worth, $40+ billion and could meet with anybody in the world and do anything that he wanted, to decide to spend his time doing that, I think is amazing. So I'm not the kind of person that's involved in everything. There's some people that do a ton of stuff, and I admire that because I don't really know how they find the time to do all that. I feel like I'm consistently strapped for time, but I try to focus in on the places where I think I can be effective. And for me, primarily, I've enjoyed the cohort system, and interacting with my cohort I think has been the primary place where I've gotten the most value and probably given the most value. And the big takeaway of business school for me is that mostly what I'm getting out of this experience is the relationships with my fellow students. The material's great, the professors are great, the curriculum's great, but it's those relationships and the depth of those relationships that's going to carry me forward. And I can see where a lot of the material will be, in some ways, perhaps outdated within a few years, but it's the relationships and specifically how the cohort system creates this bonding experience. I think that's been amazing. So really it's been a lot of sort of informal interactions with the people in my cohort and developing those relationships, which I know I'll have a lot of these friends for the rest of my life, which for me is amazing. It's an amazing experience. That's a tough question. Anything else about myself that I want to tell the world? I think I'm going to get philosophical here because philosophy was my major. I think that the main thing I'm taking away from DU and a lot of the classes I'm in is that passion is what motivates and animates us, and I think that the extent to which we connect with that passion is the extent to which we'll be successful. My name is Shawn Dun, and I am a Daniels pioneer.